All right, everyone. It's another edition of Forward Progress. And I'm so excited today to have fellow PromoKitchen chef and just badass all around, Charity Gibson with Peerless Umbrella, here with me today to talk about all things, I don't know, social media, awesome planning stuff.
Things.
How are you doing today, Charity?
I'm so good. Thank you so much for having me on. It's always fun to chat with you.
Yeah, it's going to be great. And you're here in Phoenix with me.
I am. I am super excited to be here in Phoenix with you, even though we're a few miles apart, but we're not on the East Coast dealing with that nor'easter. So
That's right.
65 and sunny all winter long. I'm here for it.
Right. And everybody hates hearing I'm still wearing shorts. I don't know. So,
I'm like, my jacket's just for show. Sorry.
well, it's empathy, right? So,
Yeah. Empathetic jacket wearing.
right. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. So here's how this is going to work today in case this is your first time tuning in. I would love it if you would say hello. So how are you? What's going on? Put your name, fill out something, where you're from. I see Cindy is here. So good afternoon, Cindy. Thanks for watching. She's watching on YouTube. So thank you so much. Please just let us know you're here. We've got a lot to talk about today with Charity, but we want questions. We welcome questions. And I'm sure Charity wants to answer your questions. Don't you, Charity?
I love answering questions, and I love answering questions with questions. Just kidding. I don't know how to do that, but I'll try.
Yeah, you're right. And hey, Scooter's here from
Hi.
St. Pete. And Charity, Scooter has the distinct recognition of winning the first ever Shirt Lab Tribe Rock Paper Scissors Championship.
Woo!
We did with our first Shirt Lab event. So he's the man.
That is a ridiculously cool honor. Like that's bragworthy for sure.
It is right. Well, he got a trophy. So
Oh, heck, that's super cool.
yeah. All right. All right. So you ready to get going?
Sure.
All right. So here is the first topic. Here we go. What is the best way to add more value to your customers? And I think the reason why I want to ask this is right now I'm in the middle of planning for 2021. I've got a whiteboard full of notes and things that I want to do and everything. And I am trying to figure this out right now. So if you don't help anybody in the audience, you're going to help me. So what's the best way, do you think, that you can add value to your customers?
I think it's funny because we often say we need to add value, where value isn't an issue, price isn't a question. And we say that all day long, and then we never actually explain what it means to add value. So I love that you're asking this question because I think it's important. I think a lot of people say that being consistent adds value, and being consistently available, being consistently, posting consistently, keeping your content in front of people consistently. And I think that that's absolutely true. But rather than showing up regularly, I think that consistency doesn't actually need to pertain to how often we're doing something. Take social media, for example. It's not about how often we're posting the content, but how consistently awesome that content is, in a sense. So I kind of always say that we should never post just to post, that we should, as it pertains to social media at least, which is what I do, and this is relative to anything else that anybody would be doing, that we should post because we have something important to say. And so in order to be considered valuable, I cannot talk to, you were having problems with words, now I can't word either. But in order to be considered valuable to our customers, I think any interruption to their day, whether it's we're making a phone call, we're sending them an email, we're creating a social media post, we're creating a direct mail program and putting something in their mailbox, even like merch, that any contact at all that we have with our customers, it should save them time, save them money, make them money, or at the very, very least, that we should make them smile or laugh. And to me, those are the things that are the most valuable, because that's what I'm trying to accomplish with my day, right? I'm short on time. I would love to have more money, and that either means making more money or saving it. And if anything is going to come into my day, I don't need it to be more frustration. I don't need to delete another email.
Right.
It better make me laugh. So
Mm-hmm. Or I would add another fifth one to that would be some sort of educational component.
Absolutely. Well, and I think the
Yeah.
education kind of fits into when you have better, if you're teaching somebody something, you're teaching them how to make more money. You're teaching them how to be more efficient, which saves them time. So I like to think all of those things, no matter what it is, fits into those kind of 4 areas.
Right. Okay, great. And Daniel here and says, hey, no shorts here in Michigan and the jackets are for real.
Sorry. Come to
And
Arizona. We don't shovel our sunshine.
Cindy was having a problem, so she refreshed because she was still waiting. So I'm glad you did that, Cindy. So I think you're exactly right about the value stream here and value proposition. And I think, as somebody that's in the apparel decoration community, and I got my foot in promo a little bit too, I think sometimes we don't do a good enough job of really like planting our flag as to what we're doing and who our best customers are, and what is their problem that they have. And sometimes I think we're a little scared to ask, right? Because that's when we find out that the emperor has no clothes and we don't provide them any value at all, right? They're just hanging around for some reason. They don't know, and we don't know either, but thank you. But if we can figure this out, that allows us to solve their problems a lot better because we know where their pain and their frustration are. And I bet you we've got something that we can do to help them out. And that's where I think really good content creation comes from. It comes from that source of helping, of empathy, of we are going to make you better somehow, right?
Yep, absolutely. Well, and I love Mark Graham, fellow PromoKitchen chef, and he's obviously on the promotional products side of things, running now a software company, but prior to that was a promotional products distributor. And one of the things that I love that he says about adding value is that we should know our customers' industries better, as good or better as they know it themselves. And so from an investment standpoint, one of the things that he said is, very important to do, go to their trade shows, take the education that your clients are taking, learn, what's coming down the pipeline. You start to hear what challenges they're facing now, what competitors are in that space, how different people are going to market. And so by getting that integral, whatever both words, knowledge of the supply chain and having that expertise. And now that means you can't be a jack of all trades in a lot of sense. It means you really have to drill down on the niche that you're trying to work with, become an expert in that field alongside them. And that a tremendous value because it leaves you better equipped to take them down the road, to their destination. Whoa, goodness. Is it Friday yet?
Are we both drunk or what?
Yes, goodness. Must have been something in my Arizona iced tea.
I think that's exactly the point. So if like your band, your customer would say was a music band, they're a band, right? They're not touring right now. What are they doing? They rely on that merch right now to always to really give them money. But now it's more important than ever because they're not playing that show or they're not on the road or whatever. And they're doing everything virtually. They can have a virtual concert and you can help do the merch for that. And you can set up the online store for them or they can do stuff because they're not going to be good at that. They're really good at singing and playing music. They're not so good about building an online store or deciding what a really good t-shirt blank or a really cool design would be. That's where you fit in. Yeah. And so I think if we understand that, to your point, understand our customers' market and where they're trying to make their money, and we offer them a solution, that's where we're kings, right? Absolutely. Or queens, in your case.
And it's so funny because a case study that depicts this perfectly, 2 different scenarios. So my daughter is probably the biggest Shawn Mendes fan in the world. Spotify just did their Unwrapped thing where they showed you like who you listen to and what your favorite playlists and artists. And she was in the top 0.5% of Shawn Mendes listeners in the world. From Spotify. And I'm like, that's wow. Okay. And then they sent out, because we're on the mailing lists and whatever, she forwarded me a thing that they sent out for this virtual concert that they're doing. And of course, they have their American Express lounge and whatever. So you can click in early access if you have that. And there's, of course, the click funnel, right? So you've got the
Yeah.
5 different package. You could just do the live stream. But for
Yeah.
the live stream plus $25, you can get the live stream plus a sticker. And you go through this whole thing. And at the end of it, if you want the VIP package, it was $175, I think. You get a free concert ticket to a virtual live stream in your own home. So, okay, no overhead, no like whatever. A sweatshirt, the CD, a poster, and something else. I'm like, so tell me this, hold on a minute. My actual ticket to a regular show, like regular concert ticket, is $100. But now I'm sitting at home. I don't even get to go see these people live, and I'm going to spend $170? Like, are you kidding me? I think that was brilliant. And now flip that with every year I go to this thing called Closer to the Sun, and it's a week-long thing in Mexico at Hard Rock. And there's an entire group, there's a community on Facebook, and we talk all year long. We post our concert pictures, our memories, our everything. And the couple days before the event, they kind of tease the merch that's going to be live at the show. People line up so early just to get there. Like, I schedule my flight as early as possible in the day so I can get to the merch table first. And last year I was so mad because I wanted a beach towel, and I got there 2 hours after it started, completely sold out of beach towels. Fast forward to this year, they're not having the event, and we pay some good money to go to this event. They're not having the event. There's no merch. And a lot of that merch actually donated to Positive Legacy. So there was a lot of charitable giving associated with it. So no Positive Legacy donation. I don't get any merch. I didn't get to go to the thing. They're not doing a streaming concert. I'm like, it's so sad.
What a missed opportunity.
Oh, I mean, we paid, and this is nice merch, and it was terrible imprints. We didn't care. We bought it anyway. And I would love to have a 2020 Closer to the Sun experience at home, and nothing. Now my daughter gets to watch Shawn Mendes, and I'm just going to sit here and look over her shoulder, wishing it was.
It's a good thing you don't know anybody in the industry that can make you this stuff.
Right. Yeah, I know. It's not the same.
Hey, we got some folks here. So Melissa says hi, and Mr. Petrie's in the house.
What up, Bill?
He's probably drinking a bourbon.
I mean, share. Actually, he's probably drinking a pumpkin spice latte. You're welcome,
pumpkin
Bill.
spice. That's his favorite. All right, so question 2. Social media, how to engage more and not just post pretty pictures. Right? I see this all the time, Charity, where there's a picture of something and that's it, and it gets 2 likes. And what did that sell? Why are you even posting that? So what's your comment on this? Because I know you have one.
Me have a comment on something? No. I think pretty pictures are important. I also think there's a really weird thing going on right now, because I know that I can post a picture and it'll go 5 days and have 30 likes. My daughter will post a picture and she will have 350 likes on a private account with 600 likes in 2 seconds. So generationally speaking, and unlimited comments, there's so much difference between the upcoming generation and kind of what we're doing. I do think we interact more genuinely in our age demographic, and it's a lot more thoughtful comments and not just kind of off the cuff. But that's that. I think just posting is important, pretty picture or not. I think the pretty pictures are good to put out there, right? Who doesn't want to see a pretty picture? But I also know that people really like what they can relate to. And so we should be using our pictures, and also, like you said, the 2-word thing, we really should be using those captions to tell the story of what's going on in the picture. Not everybody's going to read it, but there will be some people that are. And that's just you need to use that caption to tell people why you're posting this picture to begin with, and why people should care about it and be real about it. I think people see right through fake enthusiasm. If you're having a bad hair day, guess what? Just go ahead and tell people about it, because other people have bad hair days too. And then all of a sudden you become relatable. You become more human. If you're having a great day, you know what? Tell people about that too. Not in a braggadocious kind of way. Still stay humble about it, or not. Just celebrate at the summit. I think the biggest thing that we need to get over, especially in our age demographic, is being worried about people not liking us. And not everybody's going to like what we post. Not everybody's going to like what we say or agree with us on it. And some people probably agree with us more than they think they do, but because it's written word instead of spoken word, which is why doing video so often is important as well, so people can see your demeanor and see that you're laughing and how you interact, and your words,
Right.
I think, have a different meaning than they can hear your voice when you say it. But I think you need to also post with yourself in mind, and this is where people misstep sometimes, and that probably doesn't sound like I intend it to. You're borrowing a moment of somebody's life with what you're posting on social media, and I just think we need to make it more worth people's moments. And so in my mind, when you're posting on social media, if you want to get more engagement and you want to really connect with people past that pretty picture, you need to think about, if you wouldn't want to waste a moment of your own life looking at the content that you're posting, then don't waste someone else's moment either. Because as we're learning, especially in this day and time right now, moments matter. And
Right.
we don't know how many we've got left. So
Yeah.
post with yourself in mind. Think about what you would like to see and try and emulate that with what you're doing. It's, we don't like to see perfection all the time. It's okay to get vulnerable and show people what's going on. It makes us relatable. It gives that empathy component, puts that back into what we're doing. And people need to see people. We're not bots, as your LinkedIn profile might.
Well, let me tell you, yesterday I got sucked into a comment storm. There's a fantastic person that you may or may not know. Her name is Deborah Korn. She's big into print. And she posted on LinkedIn these pictures of this like mountains of boxes and stuff at the post office. And this led to this whole discussion about different things. And there was this big thing about, because I responded to somebody's point about how I hate junk mail. and then it was like, I don't know, I just got attacked from all sides about it. And because these are all printers who are printing the direct mail campaigns. And of course, how dare I? It's like us calling promo stuff swag, right? It's the same thing.
But that goes back to my point earlier, right? We talked about, like, if you're creating value, you're saving people time, saving people money, making people money, or making people laugh. If your junk mail gets called junk mail, I'm sorry, make sure it does one of those things. Know your audience, send it to the right people, and make sure it matters to who you're sending it to. Then it's not junk mail. Then I'm going to keep it forever.
They were whipping out all the statistics and all kinds of stuff. And I'm like, wait, quit being defensive. It's just like, my mailbox is full of crap, and it's your fault.
100% true. And especially when it's promotional products too. I think that's the one thing that I want people to understand. Don't just do a box mailing to do a box mailing. Don't just throw your logo on a bunch of products and send it out there. Be thoughtful about it. Like, put some messaging into it. I have one here. I'm not going to bust it out and show you, but the one that we did for Peerless, I just kind of love it. We had a mask in there. Everybody has masks, but ours was a little different because it said 2020 can kiss my mask. We had the little mini cornhole thing, and it's the toss, and it says toss your cares away. We have you covered. And there was sunshine and whatever, the little stickers on the outside, open joyfully, sunshine inside. That's what people need. They don't need an advertisement with a little plastic key that says, come to our car dealership and win a new car if it fits in the ignition. I don't have time for that. So give me something that I can love, I can use, I can keep. That, even better yet, my sister stole my damn mask. So that's effective marketing. That's not junk mail. So there you go.
Well, that's good. That's good. So we got some more people showed up. And by the way, Bill says he finds alcohol morally repugnant. Yeah, right. Steven says hello. Richard says he's drinking his afternoon Mountain Dew. So good job, Richard. And then Melissa says, I think pretty pictures depends on your audience and strategy. Every company has their own flavor, and that's represented in their visual identity on social. And that's so true. And here's what I like to see. If you're creating the content, if you're creating the pictures, I think the people that do a really good job are the ones where you know right away that it's from that company. Not even looking for a logo or whatever, just because it's in their style. So they're using a brand guideline, and they're creating something that I think really fits their company. And you could easily look at something from Apple or Nike or whatever. And you know, even if they didn't put their logo on it, it's probably from them.
Yeah.
Right?
Like,
Or
it's
Red Bull,
diverse
another
and
example,
different
right?
enough. Like, it's different and varying from post to post, so it still keeps you engaged and entertained. But yeah, it has that look and feel about it for sure. I think it's super important. The other thing too that I love what Melissa brought up is that everybody has their own style. And I love to say, I mean, it's going back to the tribe mentality or things like that. You could be the sweetest, juiciest, most amazing peach on the planet. There's always going to be somebody that doesn't like peaches. So post
Oh
for
yeah,
yourself and your tribe will find you, kind of a thing. But again, post tastefully and post, interestingly for sure. But yeah, make it yours.
right,
That's what makes it
right.
interesting, is when we make it ours.
Sure. Okay, great. So let's get to the next thing, which is human to human marketing. And what I mean by this is, and you do such a fantastic job of this, there's nobody else on the planet that's Charity. It's me, Charity G, right? Nobody else is you. And you do a really great job of connecting people, of recommending things. And I think you've established a voice because of that, where if you're saying something, people listening to you because it's you as a person, not so much as, it's Peerless talking, so talk about that a little bit, about how somebody can develop more of a human voice rather than the company line of speaking.
Well, there's a really, really good book out there. If you haven't read it, it's Marketing Rebellion: The Most Human Company Wins. And
Mark Schaefer, badass.
Yep. Empathy plays a huge part in how we relate to other people and how brands relate to people.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if I've been telling people this, I've been consulting more in the last 2 weeks and mentoring after hours than I have probably all year combined, because people are like, what am I going to do next year, kind of a thing. And the one thing that I've kind of been telling people when you're prospecting is, think of your prospects and your clients as people first. How do they want to be talked to? What's going to help? When you're being marketed to, what do you like? How do you feel when you see a logo or a brand message and things like that? And if you see something that you like, again, goes back to emulation, but that's just it. Before we're customers, before we're employees, before we're anything, we're people. And so I think businesses that are built with people, obviously, there's a lot of things that happen. There's delays that are incurred, especially now. It's like, okay, there's a ton of human error happening. There's, obviously with COVID, we can't predict. We don't even know, between March 10th and March 15th, a whole lot of human stuff happened that we had no control over. And even this past week, I had a total meltdown. I've had 7 people that passed away. Well, it was 7 as of when T passed away. And as of Tuesday, it was 8. And we're human. We have feelings, and I can't get to all the text messages and the emails and the everything. But if I just ignore people, it's kind of like, well, she hates me and whatever. We don't tell that story. And when you suddenly tell that story and you're okay not having to keep up any facades, and you're not trying to keep up appearances. So many businesses just try to keep up appearances. Well, it's bad PR if we tell them our machine broke, or it's bad PR if we tell them what's going on. And I kind of think the opposite. I think that it's good PR, because we're communicating and we're letting people know, having a human day, or we had somebody out sick, or my gosh, you guys just ordered so much hand sanitizer from us this week that we can't handle it. And it's okay to say we can't handle it, because all of a sudden you're giving that human part of that, and people can empathize with that. They understand, they can relate to that. And you can even use that then in that sense when you give up the need to always keep up appearances and the need to always look a certain way. Then you have this new power that you have and you're given, where you can now go to your audience and say, we don't even know how to fix it. Here's the problem that we're having. Here's the problem, here's what we want it to look like, but we don't know how to get from A to B. Do you guys have any better ideas? And there's something really, really cool that happens when you involve your client base in solving the problem. They become part of the solution, and they have this really cool invested loyalty. They'll never go anywhere else because they were part of your company now. They're part of your family. They're part of your company's story. So the most powerful thing any of us can do, I believe, is be ourselves.
Yep. The truth will set you free.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So I talked to somebody a week ago or so about, there's a big challenge that I think a lot of folks that are watching or listening right now know, which is that a lot of inventory from our apparel distributors is being disrupted from a gazillion reasons. I don't want to get all into it, but
containers falling in the ocean.
Yeah, and so it's caused quite the disruption, and a lot of people are struggling right now trying to get all the orders out and everything. And somebody was asking me how I should handle this, and I said, "Well, you should be absolutely truthful, right? Don't make up a story; tell the real story, and you need to show them, not just that, because I think a lot of people, because we're at the end of the stick." Right, we're going to get the blame because we took the order. How dare us not solve it, right? But we can't print on air, right? We have to print on the shirts, and that's the way that we're going to deliver when we are able to do that. And the big challenge, I think, right now is we're all worried about what the end customer is going to think because we can't handle it because we don't have the shirts, and it's causing lots of frustration. So I said, look. You need to figure out these are the scenarios that you should offer your client and get them to help you. You can, because a lot of them were, let's just say it was a 100-piece order. They've got 80 of them, and they're waiting on the last 20 mediums because we couldn't get it all from one warehouse. The other one was coming from, New Jersey or somewhere, and they couldn't complete the order. So I said, what you should do is say, hey, we can print this order as is at 80 pieces and just not print the 20, or we can wait until the 20 pieces show up whenever they do, and then we'll be able to get them up on our production schedule a day or two after that. Or we can cancel the whole order.
Yeah.
And you can just ship it somewhere else. Or we could use another blank, right? We have some here that is the same color, but it's not the same manufacturer, and that adds up to 100 pieces.
Right.
Pick which one works for you.
Yeah, exactly. And it's a great opportunity for a plus situation too. Like, sorry, this sucked this time. Let's get it out the door and fix it however we can. And I'll, kick in a little extra something next time, or a free, like there's ways, I think, like you said, but there is a huge difference between making an excuse and using the situation as a scapegoat and explaining the situation to help get to a better end solution. I think there's a big mindset shift between those two things. And it's very important that it's not make excuses past, but guess what? It doesn't matter why it's happening. It doesn't matter. None of it matters. If somebody screwed it up, at the end of the day, it's how are we going to fix it? And that's what's going to keep your people happy, is, you said, transparency and communication, and involving them in this providing solutions, not just throwing up your hands, and definitely never ever making excuses, but telling the story and using that information to form a good solution. Absolutely. It's great feedback.
So how could, let's say there's somebody watching or listening right now, and they're maybe a little shy and they don't want to be themselves because, for whatever reason, right? How do they invent the persona where they can just, this is my work persona. My work persona is not like my real persona, because maybe they're, maybe they're not really exciting in real life, and we want to be funny and energetic and engaging on social media. Not saying any of our watchers right now are that boring, but you know what I'm trying to get to here. How do we build that public persona a little bit? Is there steps that we could do to kind of do that, do you think?
Well, so yes and no. I wouldn't say fake it till you make it. Mm-hmm. I would say that I just like the authenticity part of it still. So say you're shy, use that to your benefit. That's your brand. If that's you, don't fake it, because then people are going to see this big person online and they're going to meet you in person and be like, the hell? Bait and switch. That's not okay.
That's a good point.
It's no, you know what? Talk about Bill Petrie's on this thing. He is the same person online as he is in person. He's going to be nice. He's going to be honest. If you piss him off, you're going to know. If he thinks you're funny, you're going to know. He just is that he's authentic everywhere that you are authentic everywhere that you are. As embarrassing as it is sometimes, we just kind of have to be okay embracing our personality and realize that that is our personal brand, and it's always be branding. So the only thing I would say is, if you are not comfortable putting yourself out there as you, I think you could create a brand persona in that sense, where, like my company, Green Banana Promos, when I was back as a distributor, we had Max the monkey. And so my cartoon persona could have, like, he was always monkeying around. He was kind of like the mischievous little playful, young, fun, whatever that I wished I could be all the time. But of course, I have to be serious sometimes. I have to write these orders. I have to do all these things. So I think if you're not comfortable playing that role yourself, don't make something up or be inauthentic or disingenuous, but create a character for your brand then, and get a plush toy, get a cartoon character. T. Hamilton was good at that too. She always was drawing. We had Betty for PromoKitchen, and she was the little waitress, and she'd serve up all of these cool content things. In that case, you can make it work. But if you're out on yourself, be you.
That's exactly what I was going for. I just forgot about having the mascot, right? I see, the reason I'm saying this is because, there's some people who they're just too shy for social media, right? They don't want to do they would never do this ever, Charity. What we're doing right now, they would never do a video, right? Yeah. And and they just have a hard time with stuff, and so it's like there's these, and so they struggle with this whole social media thing because it's really putting yourself out there. So that's kind of what I was kind of getting at. I was just not articulate enough to talk about.
No, you're good, but I think it worked out, because people need to hear that. Like, don't be afraid to be yourself. If you can't be yourself, create a mascot. If you don't have a mascot and you want to get better, then hire a consultant. And if you don't want any part in it, but you still want to have somebody building your brand for you and being on social media, teach them your business and hire them to do it.
Yeah, right.
I mean, that's why Peerless has a Charity Gibson, right? Because Dan doesn't want to be on camera all the time. He's great, but it's like, go.
So we got some comments here that I totally skipped over. So Sean says he'll take your key, that the one that you got for the car. So
send him over. And,
Parikh says hello. How are you doing? And Mike says he likes direct mail and brought him a 6,000 order last week. That's fantastic, Mike.
You probably did it right then. Good job, Mike.
Yeah, good job. And then Melissa says, congratulations. Ron says authenticity, see, I pronounced that right, works every time. Thanks, Ron. Make it a good day, by the way. And then Steven says, I tell people all the time I'm the same person on the phone and off the phone. One thing I've learned is being real is the path of least resistance in the business world. That fantastic comment. Thank you for sharing. All right. So we have one last question left, which is a big one. What should we be doing in 2021 that we are not doing now? Right. So it's really just crystal ball time, Charity, right? We need to kind of plan some stuff out a little bit. And I think people need to maybe do some different things, right? So what are yours?
Well, I hope we're all washing our hands by now.
Well, that's not what
I really hope that's what. No. I love what you said. So I had kind of thought about this and what should we be doing in 2021, and something different. It was kind of my 2-word answer to that. The thing I've been saying for the last 9 months of 2020 is the problem that a lot of us are having right now is that we're trying to do the things that we did previously in a different way. The same exact things, different applications. So we're trying to do a trade show, but do it virtually. We're trying to do, all of these different things, and it's causing noise. And we're trying to do things on different platforms, but we have the same lack of presentation skills. Like, if your presentation sucks on Zoom, it's going to suck on Wander. Like, that's just how it is. So instead of trying to figure out how to do these existing things we've been doing in new ways, I think we should just be exploring and innovating and creating different things. Like, let's try and figure out, let's be unafraid. We have an entirely clean slate of opportunities to really reinvent the wheel. Maybe the wheel is not the most efficient, way to ride a bike. I don't know. But until we are now forced to try some of these things that maybe were inefficient before, we have a cool opportunity to go ahead and jump in and just do new things. So that's what I would say is do something different. And especially with all of the virtual events that are coming and different things like that. I know we've wanting it to go back to normal and all of these whatever, but I think the future is we've gone too far forward to now go backwards. So embrace that opportunity to really dive deep into the digital and really figure out how to make the virtual experience, even if the in-person stuff comes back, figure out how to make the virtual experience, the pre-show boxes, the merch that we're putting out there, all of that. Figure out how to really perfect your art there and perfect that craft, because I think even when in-person comes back, now that we've erased geographical limitations, there's always going to be that component, and the person that does it best is going to win.
Right. Right. Or that's the most authentic.
Oh, there you go.
So I think one of the things that I've learned in these past few months is just how people will try new things. I think right now we're all willing to do new things. And my blog article for Saturday really talks about a concept that I learned in Seth Godin's new book, The Practice, which is all about what he terms desirable difficulty, which is you setting up obstacles in front of you on purpose to learn and make yourself better, right? So this is like your dedication to read a book a week, or to maybe you sprint the last half mile of your run, or you purposely start up, I don't know, baking bread or whatever, right? You don't know how to do this stuff, but we do it anyway just to learn. And the journey and the acceptance that you're going to totally suck at it and fail is worth it, because when you come out the other side, that's where your growth happens. And if everybody else is just doing the easy stuff, you're so far ahead of everybody that you're uncatchable at that moment.
Absolutely. I have a friend that says, I am a firm believer that if you don't create challenges for yourself, life creates them for you. And that's, to me, wisdom, because I want to stay ahead of that. I would rather choose my challenge kind of a thing and know, obviously not everything. I can't control everything, but there's some variables when you put yourself out there in front of things that, yeah, absolutely. And then I think the second thing, I love the concept of unlearning. And Jesse Itzler said, if no one had told you how to do your job, how would you do it? And I kind of lived by that credo. One, because of the way I grew up. I was, grew up homeless. I didn't have parents teaching me. I didn't know right from wrong. It's like, touch the stove. It's hot. Don't do it again. I didn't learn the most efficient way to get from point A to point B. It was, if I wanted to overcome this thing, I didn't even see it as a problem, but if I wanted whatever it was, then I'd found the way to get there, kind of a thing. And that, I've been saying this in a lot of keynotes that I'm giving, that sometimes, especially in times of crisis, recession, all this, the foundation drops out from under us. The one thing standing in our way is often our own experience and what we know, or how we've done it, or what we've learned to this point. And in 2020, that all went out the window. And the people that were able to unlearn or throw off convention or move on with something that was uncomfortable despite their experience in any given situation, those are the people that are really crushing it, I think, this year, and that are going to continue into 2021. And the other thing I would say is, what else should we be doing in 2021? I think it's probably tempting to follow where people are going and, oh, this person's figured out, I'm going to go do this. I would say dare to be different. Dare to go off on your own path and not look like anybody else. And just because it doesn't fit, this has always been true, but more so now, is when people are they're scrambling and they're trying to find their herd or their path or whatever, make your own, because there's no better time to do that. And people that are different are noticed. And,
Right.
people are scared to stand out. Don't be.
Right. And there's something that you do and you post all the time about, which is your concept of getting lost on purpose. Can you share a little bit about that and why you do that?
Yeah. Well, that's a fun one. So, right after my divorce, one of the things when I was married that was frustrating, my ex-husband was legally blind. And of course, signing up for that commitment, I knew that that meant a lot of the transportation and things like that were going to be on me. So, just one car, two kids. He worked weekends, and that was really tough for me. So I had to be 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Saturday and Sunday. I felt like I was always living within these confines of these time blocks or geographic limitations. And I know divorce is not for everyone, but I needed to for my own mental health and because there were some addiction issues over there. And when we were finally free, in a sense, my daughter and I are sitting on the couch, and it's a Saturday. And we're like, what are we doing? I'm like, I don't know what to do on Saturday. I'm like, I know what to do, but we have no, oops, I'm throwing my pens around. We have no limitations. There's nothing keeping us in this spot. And there never has been, really. It's our own mindset that keeps us there. There's always ways to, solve problems and get around whatever situation. But I'd always had that mindset that I couldn't go anywhere. I couldn't leave. I couldn't whatever. So finally I said, let's go get lost. And my daughter's like, what are you talking about? Like, putting gas in the car, and we're going to go down the streets we've never gone down before. We're just going to go drive. We're going to put the music on. We're going to put the windows down, and we're going to go. And we took off driving that day. We went left instead of right. We went up the mountain instead of, down the hill. Everywhere. We ended up in the middle of this. I don't even know where we were. I was totally lost on purpose. At the top of we took a dirt road up a mountain, and I just had the first picture of this expansive view of this canyon and these hills, and it was beautiful. And so that weekend kind of knocked it all off, and we have been kind of getting lost ever since. We had a Saturday, we had nothing to do. She's like, you want to go get lost? I'm like, yeah, where are we going to go? She's like, I don't know, go right, go whatever. We ended up in New Mexico. We bought a postcard across the Arizona-New Mexico border, mailed it to ourselves, and came home. So just kind of the idea that there's so much adventure out there if we give ourselves the permission to go, and it's become this, instead of getting bored, get lost.
Yeah, and you took it to the 112th degree by buying an RV and doing your whole business from the RV as you travel. For how long were you gone? Like 2 or 3 months, right?
Yeah, we left June 30th, and we've been home for 2 weeks. We came home to vote, and then we left again. And now we've been home a whole 2 weeks, and I'm losing my mind. So trying to plan the next trip, but I had to wait until after the holiday decoration contest in our neighborhood was over, so I could turn my lights off and then get out of town.
Yeah, I was so jealous just looking at those pictures, and you knew you were working, and then you see you kayaking on the lake. I'm like, damn it.
Anybody can do it,
like my office.
I know. And that's the one thing, like, I really hope people are getting. I'm like, I don't do any of this to make people jealous or
no,
anything.
I really enjoyed it, and I'm like, man, I need to figure out how to do that.
That's exactly what I want people to figure out, is anybody can do it. The views, everywhere I go, the views are free. You don't need a fancy RV. It's been really cool. 2020 has sucked in a lot of ways, but the cool thing is that if you look there, it's given us opportunities. I wanted to go, like we were talking about buying a boat, British Virgin Islands, that's a whole 2 years away for us living there. But my daughter's in high school now, and I thought we were going to have to wait until she was out of high school so that we could work remotely. But then that would mean that she was left here and she wouldn't get to experience all these adventures. Well, with COVID, it's like everything is remote. So it's like, if I work here or work there, I'm still working anywhere. So why not take my bed and my bathtub and my kitchen with me and go roll somewhere else? So yeah, we went to Tahoe, San Diego, Flagstaff, a ton of different places. And I think we're booked. I have like 2 weeks in Havasu, but then when it gets warmer, we're going to go head up over to the East Coast and try and do the whole Florida, that whole thing too. Got to stop and talk to Matt from General RV. Like, there's a whole YouTube channel for that guy, cult following. So yeah, it's fun.
Well,
working on the
that's
road.
just fantastic. You know, I don't know where I found the article, but there was a history teacher that was doing a remote classroom, of course. And so what she did, based on her curriculum, they were doing like the Revolutionary War or something, maybe it was the Civil War, I can't remember. But she did all of her classes from the battlefield site, or the thing, or the bill, where they signed the document or whatever it was. And she would be right there when class was going on. She's hanging out at, the whatever. And I'm like, that is so brilliant, because when else is she going to have that opportunity, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Change your curriculum to fit your road trip and teach. I mean, kids, looking at a picture is so much different than getting the virtual. And that's, talking about our industry and adapting our technology and what can we do different in 2021. Well, guess what? You know what? Let's set up a little trade show and have us go through an actual walk through the thing. I don't know what that's going to look like, but that's the type of innovation and forward thinking that I think we need. And kudos to that teacher. How super cool is that? I love it.
So before we go, I want to give a shout out to PromoKitchen. We have our PromoKitchen mixer coming up on the 11th of January. You can go to promokitchen.org and sign up for it. And I'll be there. I'm sure Charity will be there too.
I will. Yeah, we have a new platform we're using.
We got some cool stuff. We've been playing with platforms.
Playing with platforms. That's exactly what it is.
And so if you want to hang out with the cool kids, and of course this year, we're not going to be at the House of Blues like we always are, which is so disappointing. But I think this might be fun and new and different, and who knows what will happen. So I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be exciting.
Yeah, I definitely thank you for mentioning that. I hope, we're going to do what we can. We're going to make it super fun. We are using the Wonder.io platform, which does let you wander around, which is kind of fun. And you have rooms and different things. So we're playing with names of where people can go. So you can still go to the House of Blues if you want, but all kinds of little tips and tricks and fun little things and surprises are going to be in that. So definitely jump in. I think we've got room for, I forget how many, but 1,000 or something like that. So
I'm already signed up.
Kids.
All right. And if you need to get a hold of Charity, here's how you can email her, charity@peerlessumbrella.com. And you guys sell more than just umbrellas, right?
We do. So we started in 1927 as a parachute company, but after World War II, not a huge demand for parachutes. We do have umbrellas. We've got retail quality bags, which we're the manufacturer, so you're not going to find them in other catalogs, all very retail inspired. And then probably the favorite thing in my product line is that we do the outdoor products and also games. So tailgate, so the big coolers we do. We now have some we have a couple of fun games for 2020, but starting January 1st, we're going to have some really unique and fun. We doubled down on games, getting people to play from home as much as they work from home, and just kind of helping to kind of increase mental health awareness and break up your work day with some play. Yeah.
That's great. So how much of that RV is crammed full of samples that you get to test out?
Not as well. So we do have the samples that we get to test out, and that's probably the important part, is that it's not, cheap plastic crap. Like, it's actually usable, fun, great products. So I have a cooler. I've got my beach chairs, all kinds of fun stuff that does come along with me. So, and some other suppliers too. I am a self-proclaimed swag snob, so it takes a lot for something to impress me enough to make it either in my house or on my travels.
Right. Right. Cool. and if you need it, here's the Peerless website. So go check it out. And if you got any questions, I'm positive Charity would love to sell you something.
I don't sell anything. I just educate people and help them discover solutions, just like
Right.
you.
Yeah, that's right. We got a comment here from Stephen. Problems and challenges are like waves in the ocean. You can either ride them to the top or let them take you under. I love that.
That is amazing. And Steven, so funny thing, we were supposed to be on a call all morning. He had to go shovel snow. And then he's like, hey, I'm ready to talk. I'm like, hold on. I'm jumping on this quick call really quick. So jump on and watch the call, and we can have our mentorship call afterwards. So
Yeah, right.
thanks for that, Steven. You just mentored me. You don't even need me to call you after this.
That's right. That's right. Well, hey, thank you so much for your time today, Charity. I really appreciate you, and looking forward to hanging out with you more next year. I know we're doing that Common SKU SKU-Con thing in January with Jay, so that's gonna be a hoot, I think.
Yeah.
So all right. Well, anyway, thank you so much. And thanks for everyone that's watching. And if you have any questions for Charity or myself, and you're watching this as a recording, just throw it in there and tag us, and we'll happily help you out. So
awesome. Thank you
have
so
a
much
good
for having me.
happy holidays. And yeah, no problem, Charity. And don't go away. I'm just ending the broadcast. So talk to you later.